The Spanish Prime Minister is set to hold a special cabinet meeting to announce measures for imposing direct rule over Catalonia. The Spanish government has got the opposition on board to dissolve Catalonia's parliament and hold new elections there in January. This will be the first time in Spain's history that Madrid will invoke the constitution to effectively sack a regional government and call new elections.
Yo realmente con el Partido Socialista estoy de acuerdo, porque hemos llegado a un acuerdo. Por tanto, las medidas que yo presentaré mañana serán unas medidas acordadas por el Partido Popular, el Partido Socialista, Ciudadanos y el Gobierno. Luego cada uno los califica como estime oportuno y conveniente. Lo único que quiero decir ahora es que el objetivo fundamental de esas medidas es volver al cumplimiento de la ley, porque no puede haber una parte de un país donde la ley no se aplique, donde la ley no exista, y al mismo tiempo volver a la situación de normalidad institucional.
La España del siglo XXI, de la que Cataluña es y será una parte esencial, debe basarse en una suma leal y solidaria de esfuerzos, de sentimientos, de afectos y de proyectos. Una suma que siga alimentando nuestra vocación universal, nuestro legítimo orgullo de pertenecer a la gran realidad democrática que hoy es Europa. España tiene que hacer frente a un inaceptable intento de secesión en una parte de su territorio nacional. Y lo resolverá por medio de sus legítimas instituciones democráticas dentro del respeto a nuestra Constitución y ateniéndose a los valores y principios de la democracia parlamentaria en la que vivimos desde hace ya 39 años.
Catalan leader Carles Puigdemont has refused to renounce independence, citing overwhelming 90% vote in favour of breaking away in the referendum which was held earlier this month. Now, meanwhile, on the ground, the uncertainty grows. Catalan separatists were flocking to withdraw cash in protest at the central government. The prolonged standoff has caused hundreds of companies to move their headquarters outside Catalonia and prompted the Spanish government to cut its economic growth forecast. And joining me on the program to discuss more on this particular news coming out of Europe is our senior foreign affairs editor, Padma Rao. Padma, thank you for joining us in the program. Let me begin by asking you, if the Spanish government, takes unprecedented steps to seize power from Catalonia, do you think they're entering into uncharted, perhaps, legal waters?
No, I think the legal waters are very clearly charted. The Constitutional Court of Spain has already said that A, the referendum, and B, any attempt to carry out the result of that referendum and translate it into a declaration of independence are both illegal according to the Spanish Constitution. And Catalonia still very much falls under the Spanish jurisdiction of the Spanish Constitutional Court. So the legal waters are very clearly charted. And in fact, Jessica, I think Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy also has another advantage, that is, he has the full backing and support of not only the opposition, the socialist opposition in Parliament in Madrid, but he also has the backing of the European Union, specifically its two largest economies and leading economies, France and Germany. Both these countries have spoken out separately and firmly in support of Madrid as far as Catalonia is concerned, and so has the European Union as an entity in Brussels. So I think if there is anyone who is wading into uncharted legal waters, it is Carles Puigdemont, the Catalan leader, because I frankly, I'm a little baffled. I don't know why he is remaining so intransigent over this question, because now what it has done, as you rightly pointed out, is it has attracted the withdrawal of the autonomy that Catalonia has enjoyed for several centuries, and it has been brought under what we in India would call a central rule, a kind of a president's rule that we have in India. And what is generally expected from today's emergency cabinet meeting, which Prime Minister Rajoy has called, is that there will also be a declaration of fresh regional elections in Catalonia in January. So that will play out as the afternoon unfolds.
Absolutely, and in that meeting, of course, we also know that Madrid has never used its constitutional powers to retake rebellion regions, so to say, and Catalonia being one of them. So if in case, you know, if the autonomous authority is taken over from Catalonia, what can be expected? I mean, of course, there'll be protests all over, but do you think this issue being resolved even by doing that?
Well, you know, I think it would be more a show of place, you know, rightful place to the Catalans by Madrid, their rightful place, because which is very much within the realm of the Spanish constitution. Now, if you asked an interesting question as to why Madrid has never before invoked this sort of drastic or taken this kind of drastic step. Well, it's simply because neither have the Catalans ever before in the 1,000 odd years since they enjoy the autonomy actually taken the drastic step of declaring full independence. What has happened repeatedly and every now and then has been calls for greater autonomy, negotiations for, you know, a little more money here or there, because Catalonia is Spain's richest province and much of its earnings and revenues flow into Madrid's coffers. Indeed, that was one of the grievances that this referendum sought to address. So I think that is what, you know, is likely to for this to end up in. In fact, it seemed that way even earlier this week when there was an earlier deadline set by Prime Minister Rajoy, which went unheeded, and the fresh deadline was set for Thursday, which obviously went unheeded also. So I think the ball is really now in Barcelona's court, in the court of the Catalan regional government, that they come to the negotiating table and they, eke out a fresh set of rules and regulations for themselves so that they can live more peacefully within the nation of Spain.